morning, and thank you to our audience online. We continue our work in the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center, and the topic of the next discussion is the start of re-attestation in the National Police of Ukraine. Our speakers are Olena, Diatlova, spokesperson at the National Police of Ukraine Recruiting Center, and Colonel Vodolymyr Zhydenko, acting chief of the National Police of Ukraine Legal Department. Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm glad to see you today, and I would like to remind you, you might remember that on December 11, the head of the National Police of Ukraine, along with the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, officially announced the start of activities of the recruiting center at the National Police of Ukraine. At the press conference dedicated to this event, we announced that we would like to report information to the entire society about the performance of the recruiting center and the processes which we use in our activities. I would like to tell about our recruiting center. I know that you have many questions. The recruiting center is not a unit of the National Police. This is an independent organization which has manpower and money of the technical assistance projects. The main task of the center is to provide technical and informational assistance to the National Police in headhunting and attestation and assessment of candidates to the vacancies. To this end, we use the technologies globally renowned, which have been provided by the international programs of the USA, Canada, and the EU. In the framework of the international technical assistance, the most of assistance is provided to the reattestation process of the National Police headquarters and police in Kiev and Kiev region. We are talking now about 13.5 thousand staff. Good morning, dear journalists. I would like to focus attention on the reattestation is aimed at evaluating professional and personal qualities of each policeman so that we fire all staff which have no professional and personal skills required, and to hire new police staff. What laws, what is the legal framework underlying the attestation campaign? The first is the Article 57 of the law on the new police, which goes about the attestation commissions and testing procedures. The attestation procedure is performed by independent members of the attestation commission. The attestation commissions are composed of the headquarters of national police members and patrol duty policemen over than 80%, and the representatives of civil society, NGOs, and international assistance projects, MPs, their advisors, and so on. So the attestation commissions have balanced membership. There are no such cases where the majority of membership is of policemen or of civil society, so their decisions are absolutely unbiased. The first stage of attestation is testing for general skills and knowledge and professional test. What does it mean, the general skills test? When a person comes to testing, a person gets login and code and enter the system. And a unique 60 test activities are generated for each policeman. The maximum score can be 60 points, and then professional test, which also consists of 60 questions. It consists of the questions about the constitution of Ukraine and laws of Ukraine regulating the law enforcement sphere, and the testing activities also include the knowledge of rules of operative and investigative activities, regulations. It also consists of 60 questions which are unique for each person, and which the tests also can contain special activities to reveal qualifications, and each true answer provides 1 point, so maximum score can be 120. Each policeman upon testing gets a unique and personal attestation record, where let's say file. In this dossier, not only the testing results, but also his working history and his chief's characteristics of him or her are also included in that file. And according to the law on cleaning up, the law enforcement bodies, the certificates of according to this law are also included in the file, as well as physical fitness results of a person. I would like to thank the people for assistance, for sending information on every policeman. It helps us to reveal the truth, the true information about every policeman. Besides that, the attestation commissions looking into this material, they use the right, they are entitled to interview each policeman, each potential policeman. During the interview, they are asked not only professional questions on the part of the attestation commission, its members from the headquarters of the police, but also the questions with regard to the declared incomes of the person, and they also ask him or her about his vision of his benefits for the police, which benefits this person can contribute to the police success. It is not allowed to ask questions about personal life. And in my communication with the Attestation Commission members, of course, they said that they have never asked such questions which concern private life of a person. After that, the attestation committee the next day discuss the results of the potential policeman and whether the person meets the criteria and can fill the vacancy, and there are options. The person can be fired, hired, or appointed to a lower position than he or she held before. A policeman if fired, such a person can submit an appeal to an attestation commission of appeals. They have already been established, and they are available, and they receive complaints, and this concerns the top managers of the police department. Attestation Commission of Appeal consider complaints and may issue decisions to renew a person on his position. The decision-making process is very transparent, and nobody has influence, no political force can have influence on any attestation commission. This is democratic consideration of the results and transparent decision-making process. Thank you very much.
Speaking about statistical data, we can provide intermediate results of the attestation commissions, starting from 7th of December, the first day of the meeting of the commission, until yesterday. So I have the data till the evening of yesterday. So today 17 commissions work, 3 commissions assess and attest central office personnel, 8 commissions attest in Kiev, and 6 work with the personnel in Kievska Oblast. And till now they reviewed and also they conducted interviews and decided on more than 4,000 personnel, 512 central office, then Kiev, and 150 people in Kiev Oblast. And positive results, and we are speaking about positive decisions that the officer remains at his position or is recommended for promotion, or still he will be in police force and with the demotion, for example. So all these categories are included in these figures. So these decisions are taken regarding 3,480, central office 431, and 1,035 in Kiev Oblast. And negative decisions, recommendations to fire personnel. The commissions are taken regarding 566 persons on the whole. As to percentage from all the interviewed, it is 13%, not 80, not 60, 13%. So 81 person in the central office, 276 in Kiev, and 208 in Kiev Oblast. And this is that concerns the decisions of the qualification commissions. And starting Tuesday, the commissions of appeal start its work, and they consider appeals of the personnel. So we have two such commissions, and intermediary result. Yesterday evening there was 223 complaints. It doesn't mean that all these people have the right, in accordance with the instruction, has the right to submit a claim. But the commission review this claim, the scores that this officer received, and all the documents that are described in the instruction, and it can be considered as appeal. And this is our first meeting, and we want to make these meetings regular, and maybe these will be weekly meetings, and we will be able to provide more detailed information to you regarding the work of the commissions of appeal and the decisions that have been taken in the course of the work. Thank you. Thank you, Elena and Vladimir. And now questions and answers. Dear colleagues, do you have some questions? Please introduce yourself before asking. Sergei Lefter, RBK Ukraine. There was information that re-attestation was conducted among Berkut members. I won't ask you about their participation in the law enforcement activities in Euromaidan. I ask only about the fact. Did they undergo this re-attestation? Thank you for your question. This issue is at the same very difficult and simple. From one part, we may say that the office of Berkut, it's very bad that they re-attested, but we should say that there's no Berkut. There's no such a unit. There is a special unit, special service unit. Of course, there are some officers that served in Berkut previously, but these people, we don't have information that they took part in some actions in Maidan and other events that would infringe their reputation. But the decision on this procedure, whether it is from Berkut or some operative personnel or head of department or unit or head division, this is not the responsibility of national police, but this is a police commission that is composed of representatives of civil society who took part in the Revolution of Dignity. And I'm sure that there were no some figures who conducted illegal activity against Automaidan, and that these people cannot undergo this procedure, and they won't be allowed by this attestation commission to continue their work. Thank you. Introduce yourself. Громадська ініціатива Роман. There were several cases that officers who underwent this re-attestation, it happened that on social media they had very anti-Ukrainian views, and they were fired. Two candidates who went there. So there were some cases And can we prevent? Can we monitor? Thank you for your question. I will try to answer this question. Of course, these are patrol police officers. They were not attested. They underwent open contest to national police. Of course, there were some information, and maybe this is an issue to the Department of Patrol Service. These people were fired from national police. We continue to work, and we search information in open sources. And you know that on site of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, every citizen of Ukraine can inform us on these events, on these facts, and we address our citizens and civil organizations to public initiatives who are interested that they can share this information with us. Anastasia Suha, there was information yesterday that 3 or 5 people from Berkut underwent this re-attestation. Did they have the lowest score, but the commission voted for them? Is it true? And would they undergo lie detector? Will they be tested? I repeat, the same question was from your colleague. Pay attention that there's no influence from the national police on this commission. And in these commissions, the members are not only from national police, but mainly these commissions are composed with those who took part in the Revolution of Dignity. That's why I assure you that I'm sure that no attestation commission, when it studied all the materials, and there's information on all the service of every officer, so they take decision by open voting, and they are not influenced by national police. I can't dictate them what to decide. No one can. And we don't have Berkut here in Ukraine now. And about the influence, I'm not speaking about the influence. I'm speaking about the number of persons from the third company of Berkut, and about lie detector. I would answer about lie detector. Attestation committee can propose to undergo a lie detector test. They can propose to undergo this test, and they will do this, and according to the results of this test, they will take a final decision of the commission. And here we have advisor on communication, and he will provide the answer to the question. I had a direct online communication with this channel, 112 channel. And it happened during the meetings of the Commission. 6 representatives that worked in Berkut, they were reattested, and 3 of them got the majority of votes of the Commission, and there was also those who got one was even they even recommended to promote one of them. And others, they were criticized not because there were facts, they took part in the clashes in Euromaidan, but because they had very low professional estimation and very low scores. And one of them was a driver, so they are not officers, and their scores of all of them were mainly very low. these are people from the third company, and I spoke with the head of the commission, and they told us that they even didn't think that they have the right, if they have some doubts, they can use the lie detector. And as to lie detector, today the commission recommended to undergo that 152 personnel undergo lie detector. I have a question about reattestation in regions and how the commissions are formed. So it's not understandable. So, and we know that on the 13th of December, there was a meeting of those who didn't undergo reattestation. And there were many people who said that reattestation was subjective and that there were some questions about origin, and the policeman said that there were such questions of personal character, and there was information that criminal situation deteriorated after the reform. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, you shouldn't believe everything that is said by people who go to meetings, so-called former policemen. The question is, those people who were out in these meetings, and they are not those who were not attested. There were many people who didn't go to the interview at all, and they didn't have this attestation. Who was the organizer of this meeting? I don't know. But their goal, I think, is known to everyone. This is an old system, and it resists the new. And those who want to live as they lived before, under that rules that they had before, so they go out in the meetings and they have the right to speak. But the reform of police, we can't stop it, and we shouldn't do this. And of course, some people cannot work in new police, and I think that they should leave. And as to other oblasts, I can't say now what the next oblast will be, but the issue is the formation of these commissions remains the same. On the site of National Police or Internal Affairs Ministry, there will be an announcement on this, that it was done when the commissions were formed in Kiev and Kiev Oblast. And I hope, and please pay your attention, and the media, the public, if you want to be present during this process of attestation of officers, you can take part in it, you can be present there, and you can decide whether you want to be present there as a member of Attestation Commission and to follow the information on the official site. And I think that everyone knows that there is a special mark about attestation, and you can register there and take part in attestation and creation of new police that should be in Ukraine. Thank you. And I will add about the Center of Recruitment. This center will have a regional network, and we are working on the structure. And about 5 or 7 cities, there will be permanent platforms, and in other oblasts there will be mobile groups of our representatives that will accompany and help with technical assistance, and there will be some platforms with computers, and the procedure will remain the same for any oblast. Next question.
Богдана Євсєєва, інтернет-веб-сайт Знаю.ua. You told that 254 persons have passed re-attestation. What percentage is this? And what I would like to specify about the commissions of appeals when the results will become known. What is the period for consideration of complaints? I would like to answer the second question. According to the instruction of the procedure of testing, number 1465 registration with the Ministry of Justice, the decision of attestation commission should be signed next day after the decision is issued. So there is only 1 day for issuing documents upon testing. Then, within 4 days, the person is entitled to sign this information upon reading it, and if the person did not come, the results are published on the website. The first question. I told you that that 13.5 thousand staff are subject to re-attestation in Kiev and Kiev region. So you can calculate percentage. Miss Olena told us that next year we will have press briefing. Yes, starting with January 15th, we will host on Fridays weekly briefings. Happy New Year, dear friends.